One fine day in Japan, there was a peddler, and this peddler was coming back from the market. As he was walking along, he heard a shrieking in the distance, and there he saw a tiny little animal, a tanuki, which was trapped inside a trap set by a hunter. Unfortunately, the tanuki did not have immunity from this trap, and so the tanuki ended up spending the rest of his days on the shelf. And if you were to go to this temple today, in Morinji Temple, you may see that tanuki sitting on the shelf, enjoying his retirement.
We all actually are laborers, regardless of whether we are in healthcare or finance or any kind of other type of job. What about the history of labor, and specifically labor history in Canada, and how Labor Day came to be? So in 1872, about 10,000 Toronto printers and their supporters staged a rally saying we do not want to work a 9-hour per day. And so they staged this rally. 3 days later, John A. Macdonald, who was the Prime Minister at that time, signed something called Trade Union Act, protecting unions. And out of that gathering came the recognition and celebration of Labor Day today.
Now, when I grew up on a small farm, we had this issue where it would always rain, and the tractors that my grandpa would drive around were very poorly engineered. And what I ended up doing most of the time as a small child, I would sit on the cab of the tractor with towels, and I would just sit there for hours in the cold, and I would be wiping the windows clean so that the harvest could go on.
Growing up as a little girl in South America, on the banks of one of our large rivers, I noticed that my sisters and I, after the meals, would take the dishes and the pots down to the creek, and we scrub with that rough part of the coconut husk, and we'd be scrubbing and losing our fingernails and messing up our nail polish. So I said, this confounded nonsense has a sexist ring to it, and I'm going to do something different.
Life is simple. No matter how difficult and complicated you think it is, life is simple. But sometimes the simplest solutions escape us. So for years, I, like both men and women alike, would go to a garbage can and I was like, how do I throw this in? How do I not dirty my hands?
A long time ago, I sent my husband out to sea, and he was always getting lost. And that would really frustrate me, because what that would mean would be that I'm home alone with our 7 children while that man is out there drinking beer. And so I created this thing called a marine signal flare. And I basically made it mandatory for my husband to light this thing up if he was gone, for 2 or 3 days.
I grew up in an island off the coast of Japan. We had these little fish that lived on land, and these fish actually ran really quickly. So they were just running all over the place. They were probably, each one was like this big, but they were like all over the house, and sometimes it was really tough to keep track of them.
So with invisible glass, you can save a lot of lives. It hasn't sold that many, I haven't been able to sell to that many people, but maybe if you can spread the words and tell people about my sad stories of running into windows in my house, maybe I can be the next millionaire. Thank you.
Well, I would like to thank Mariana for the very informative speech that you gave. I briefly wrote down the content that you talked about during your speech, and it's actually a lot of information. So just to refresh everyone's memory, you start by talking about the definition of labor, you talk about the histories of Labor Day, then you go into the definitions of productivity, and you provide a lot of statistics and think it was great to provide numbers because numbers speak for themselves. So that shows you do a lot of homework, you're very well prepared, and I like the fact that you talk about economic theories and the definition of economic theories, because a lot of times the audience may not really understand the technical terms, so it's good to start with that. And again, thank you for your speech. That's all I have.